Today is one of the 4 days that I work with my residential cleaning company. So I am going to attempt to not be long because I got places to be and things to do. But I wanted to take a few moments to talk about what changes when you stop building alone. And I want to take back with the story is when I'm had no other choice because of the circumstances that I were in after getting laid off, and my credit was going to the toilet, and I was in debt and at risk of foreclosure. Um, all stemming from a layoff with bad decisions that I made and other people had and other companies had contributed to. I um I decided through some talking with the best friend to start a company. And when I started that residential company, there was nobody to talk to as far as, well, how do you price? What's the best products? I was winging it. I knew how to clean. My house is up to par. That wasn't an issue. My mother, she used to clean houses. So as a kid in the summer, I would go with her. So it wasn't the fact that I didn't know how to do it, but all houses aren't created the same. So there was techniques that I didn't know. When there was those shower stall, the shower glass that, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But there was no guidance. I tried to talk to people in the industry. I had joined a networking group, and in that networking group, in other groups, there were residential cleaners. And I tried to connect with them to get advice, and I was ghosted. And I was like, this is weird. We're supposed to be small business owners. Why does this feel like a hostile situation that nobody wants to talk to me? And then I realized that competition was steep in their minds. They felt like if they were to talk to another fellow business owner in the residential cleaning industry, that thus said person was going to steal clients for them. How absurd. Because I don't know about where you live, but where I live, you can be at a stoplight on a main street that may have 4 lanes, and you are sitting 4 lanes and a turning lane. So that's five, right? You're sitting in the middle, and to the left, there's Molly Maid cleaning company, and then to the right, there's a whole bunch of cleaning companies, and you're in the middle. There's a vast opportunities because all they do, they don't build other stuff to do. They just keep building houses and apartments. So there's plenty of things to do. So I felt so alone. I didn't have anybody to compare notes to. I didn't have anybody to say, you know what, I did this move out clean and this and thus happened. Can you believe that? And to just vent to or anything like that. There was nobody. It was very difficult. Um, but over time, there was one young lady in particular, and there was a gentleman who took one phone call. He was cool. Then there was another young lady. Her and I hit it off, and we became friends. And then later on, colleagues in my current business. I miss her. She's no longer with us. She's transitioned, but that bond had existed because she took the time to talk to me, and I felt like I wasn't alone. So that was pretty cool. And I'm talking about traditional business. To be able to talk to someone, to be able to drive ideas is always great. Another example of how I was in business, for myself, but still by myself and nobody to talk to, even though there was supposed to be support. Um, Boy, I would have to say it was maybe about 18 years ago, I had joined a multi-level marketing or network marketing company with an individual, and we worked together at the same company in the call center, and they were cool people to work with. And I jumped on the bandwagon. I was ready, and I got confused along the process. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing, and I picked up the phone and I called them, and they were like, "No, you need to go ahead and call this number." And I was like, "Okay, but you're doing this, so can you give me your experience?" "No, go ahead and call this toll-free number." And then I would go to work, and she'll talk to me about anything else, gossip, this, that, and the third. But when it came down to what she brought me on, she was my sponsor. She didn't want to talk to me. And that put a little bad taste in my mouth when it came down to trying something like that again. So we're going to fast forward. If you've been listening to me this week and last week, you realize that I'm a travel business owner and I book travel. But another part of the business is to be able to share the opportunity with others that they could be able to supplement their income, be able to travel better, and have different types of experiences on the other side of the travel industry. Well, in that course, I realized that I'm not in business alone. And that is special, especially when I've done it by myself traditionally and in other opportunities. And it's not the fact I don't need nobody to hand walk me. I can stand on my two legs and do it fine. Now, those who know me know I'm a little clumsy, so y'all need to leave that part alone. But seriously, on a serious note, um, this company that I'm with, the people that I'm around, they're like family. And to be operating a business, and anytime you have a question, you can pick up the phone, you can WhatsApp somebody, you can um, send a message in a group chat, and somebody's there for you. It means a lot. One of my and it's just it feels like a family where you have sisters in success and brothers that's working alongside you with a common goal, and they want to see everybody win. To have someone, eh, what does that mean? It means additional confidence. It means that when sometimes with my aggressive goals, or if someone has aggressive goals and they seem to falter because life be life, and or your brain, you get in your own head, it feels good to know that you can tap into somebody else's vision. You can tap into, wait a minute, somebody else believes in me, not just me believing in myself. Because sometimes when you make a decision where you walk out on faith and you do things, sometimes there's the naysayers behind you. And those naysayers could be like, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to win. And this company provides accolades, steps along the way. I had no idea how to be a travel agent except book my own travel. And I was excited like a kid in the candy store when I found out that there was nothing but resources available for me to be successful. And that felt so, and feels, and continue to feel surreal and special at the same time. I'm one of those people that sometimes I can't sleep at night. And last night was one of them, by the way. And it's good to know that there's a resource that I can go to that while I'm in the middle of the night looking up a situation or helping a client booking a trip and I have a question, there's a resource that I can go to. And that is awesome. Um, the other thing is that the company and the people that I surround myself with, they're not just interested in production. They're just not interested in did you book a trip. They're not interested in did you just share the information with someone else because we don't have any quotas. There's no contracts. I can work if I want to, and I can work if I don't. I do what I do in this business because of me and my personal goals. But to know that there's somebody's pushing me if I want to be pushed. There's somebody there that I can be accountable to if I want to be accountable. And then if I'm going through something, I'm looked at as a person. You know, because during these times, people are going through different stages in life, be it health, be it mental wellness, be it physical situations, be it financial. We're here to support each other. You know, not saying anything about spiritual or religious beliefs, but they'll pray for you. You know, they'll hop on a prayer call. That's cool. That's cool. Especially for those of us who believe in the power of prayer. To be able to say, hey, look, I'm going through something, no matter how small, and we can come together on a Monday morning at 6 a.m. and touch and agree. That feels good. Um, if one immediate person isn't there, you have another. One of my friends, sisters in success, is in the Cayman Islands. I am in the U.S. I am in the state of Virginia. She is in the Cayman Islands, and I can send her a WhatsApp right this second, right now. And she works a full-time job with her local government, but she'll respond back to me. Yes, she will. And if she's busy, she said, Terry, I'll get with you when I can. And the same things there is a matching heart because everyone who has started an agency that I help sponsor, I got their back. I'm on text message alert as if I'm on call because I don't want anybody to feel alone because I know what it feels like and felt like to be alone. So it's I treat people as I want to be treated. And the good thing about it is I'm feeling it with the company that I'm in. Last Wednesday, a few days ago, we had a call where we just listened to everybody's wins. And you're like, Terry, so what? That's not a big deal. Yes, it is. Because you don't know what that person was going through, what people on that line was going through on Wednesday. They could have got a diagnosis from the doctor that wasn't good. They could have had a very blah day. They could have got cussed out at their daytime job. And to get in a call for something that they do and work on their own side business, to get on a call and hear people go through their own adversities and still have wins. I felt like a cheerleader and I feel like a cheerleader, and I ain't never done any sports. And again, if anybody knows me, I am clumsy. And if I was on the top of the pyramid, I would go tumbling down. But this isn't sports, it's being a human being and it's caring about people. And that's another reason why I became a travel agent. Hear those horror stories of people having experiences because they made a mistake and didn't read the fine print. I remember there was a client that um, they wanted to go to an Airbnb and they wanted to surprise their wife to go on that Airbnb. And I was getting ready to book the trip for them. And there was like a $1,400 hold on their credit card in spite of them already paying the deposit. And I was like, pump the brakes. That doesn't make sense. And so I went to Airbnb's site, looked up the same property, and the same thing happened. So I was like, this can't be. How in the world can somebody pay a deposit, then get to the property, pay a $1,400 deposit, which was almost half of what the stay was going to be, and then I read the fine print. That $1,400 deposit was for cleaning and it's subject to approval to be returned. I was like, that sounds sketchy. Not saying the host agent was doing anything fraudulent, but that sounded real sketchy. So I looked into it and I was able to speak to some of my colleagues because this was a unique situation and I wanted to save the person money. And they said, Terry, look a little deeper. And I did. And I found a way that that person could omit from paying that $1,400 deposit. All they had to do was not book with me. And I was okay with that. Um, all they had to do was not book with me. And um, they had to make sure that they requested to do the insurance with Airbnb. Now, that person didn't want to pay for insurance, to be honest. But I was like, look, if you don't want your wife to be mad because y'all lost $1,400, I think you need to pay this insurance because if you pay $50, that will prevent $1,400. But it was the good thing to have additional support because what if I didn't put another set of eyes on it? What if I didn't get the encouragement not to give up? Because it was a mystery through fine print, small print, whatever you want to say, in order to do that. And yes, I didn't get commission, but what I gained was a loyal customer thereafter because they knew that for me, it was more than a sale. It was about them having a good experience and surprising their wife and not having an underlying circumstance that was supposed to happen later on. Yeah. But as I ramble on, the title again is What Changes When You Stop Building Alone? And I'm just going to list a few: confidence, uh, motivation, inspiration, someone to be able to troubleshoot with. Those are some of the things in our business that changes when you stop building alone. Um, a team, because there's one thing about when you work by yourself, it's not the same as when you have worked for an employer where you have a team. When you work for somebody else, you take breaks, right? You get usually 15-minute breaks and a lunch break, right? Well, when you work in business by yourself, sometimes you get in a solo where you're just so focused. And when you have support, sometimes the support will be like, did you drink your water today? Have you gotten away from your computer today? This is the type of team, this is the type of organization, this is the type of camaraderie that I get the joy to work alongside with every day as I work my own business. And that feels so freaking good. Because for me, being in a position where I lost everything and I'm rebuilding my life, my finances, my joy. It's good to know that as this business supports that opportunity for me, that I got some colleagues in this business that's out here cheering for me, out here listening ear when I want to vent, out here um, with knowledge. There's no gatekeeping in this environment. From someone who is at the same income bracket to those who make millions in this industry, there is no um, gatekeeping as far as information. So somebody asked if I'm old. My hair is gray, I tell you that much. Old age is just a number. Well, you guys, I do have somewhere to be, but I wanted to be able to get in front of you guys and say, you know, whatever you try to do in life, if you're picking up a second job, if you're interested in what I do in the travel industry, I can tell you that you won't be alone. You won't be by yourself. But if learning what I do is not what you want to do, I ask you that whatever you try to do out here, find camaraderies, find sisters in success and brothers in success that are willing to support you. Find a networking group, find a church group, find someone that while you're going through your journey, that you're not going through it alone. Because support changes a lot of things. And sometimes you're like, well, I don't need support. I got it all. But you never know. You never know when that helping hand is going to be there. Because I can tell you, working a business by yourself and not having anybody to toss ideas with leads to many roads of failures and mistakes. But what changes when you're not building alone is that you have people that are able to give you advice from things that they overcame so that you don't repeat those mistakes. And that is valuable and priceless at the same time. Well, all right, you guys. On this 6/26, this Friday, I'm going to end you like I always do. And that is have a phenomenal day on purpose.